All right, child, I'll drop out, okay?
Okay.
All right. You guys have fun.
Sure. Let me get you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Welcome, I'm Tara Wallace, and I will be hosting the
All right, child, I'll drop out, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Kyle, we're already
You guys have
streaming.
fun. Sure.
Okay.
We're right back on.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Welcome, I'm Tara Wallace, and I will be hosting the
All right, child, I'll drop out, okay?
Okay. Okay. Kyle, we're already
You guys have
streaming.
fun. Sure.
Okay.
We're right back on.
Okay, let's hold on. Everyone. Hold on one second.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
I'm getting like a little bit of feedback. Hold on one second. Can you hear that? Welcome, I'm Tara Wallace, and I will be hosting the
All right, child, I'll drop out, okay?
Okay. Okay. Kyle, we were already
You guys have
streaming.
fun. Sure.
Okay.
We're right back on.
Okay, let's hold on. There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
I can.
Okay, great. So look, we just experienced some technical difficulties. Like this is it's been a while since I've done this, but we are back. And I'm Tara Wallace, and I'll be hosting the official after show each week, right after the after Happily Ever After episode airs on BET. So tonight we're going to be talking about episodes 1 and 2, and we're going to be sitting down with some of the amazing cast members of the show. The show is made up of singles and daters, which makes an amazing cast. And we just really want to talk about their experience and what they went through, and just from basically casting to walking into this house for the very first time. Joining us is Nika, Jayla, and Varon. If you guys just want to take it from here, I want you guys to just Nika take over. You can give us your handles, what you do, Jayla, and then Varon.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you great. It sounds great.
Okay, wonderful. Hey, everybody. I am Nika, the Vaguru Samples, and my Instagram handle is at IAMTHEV, as in Victor, AGURU, on all social media platforms.
Yes, guys, we're just getting set up over here so we can see both screens over here. So if you're wondering what we were doing, that is what we were doing. But yes, I'm Jayla Corian, YouTube personality. And I'm excited to be here and chat about the show today.
Me too.
Varon.
Hey, everybody. I'm Brian Strickland. Just a normal guy from Chicago in the home sharing market. I love to do real estate, host Airbnbs, and I am one of the singles on After Happily Ever After.
Yes, I think it's so important that we talk about this, because everybody puts so much into this, just from the unknown to trusting the process and giving of yourselves, and that includes me too. So the idea is that we have this open forum. Like, I'm the host, but it's really about us all talking, sharing our experience from whatever side we stand on, and just talking about it. It's really to be fun and lighthearted and share. It's not to like antagonize or cause beef, or just the very opposite of what, you know, people kind of think of reality TV in terms of, you know, what they see, or little snippets of fights. It's really, there's so much more that's going on that I don't feel like they see it. They don't know it. They don't know what goes into it.
Yeah.
So I really want to talk about like the process and just, you know, your experience, and even coming, like what would make any of you decide to do this crazy dating show, this idea of like, someone says, hey, there's a dating show. Would you be interested?
We didn't know of the idea.
Yeah, we didn't know the concept, but initially when I decided to audition for the show, I was told that I was auditioning for a groundbreaking, which is an exciting word, dating reality show. So, you know, I'm like, I'm single at the time and I really want to meet somebody, and I'm not getting out that often and I'm tired of swiping. So I thought, like, what would be a better situation than to be on TV, not only that, but have professionals find me somebody based on exactly who I am, because I took a whole lot of different quizzes and tests and psychiatric evaluations. And I thought that they were personality tests to find me the best match suited for me. And that's the impression that I was under. So I was completely blindsided by the entire show in itself. It was really fun, but I don't know if I would have signed up for something like this.
Veron, well, Jayla, you want to say anything? You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I just feel like we didn't know what we were walking into. Of course, I think everybody on the planes there were like, somebody's there for us. Somebody's there for us. Like, but nobody was there. Nobody was there for us.
I think the biggest obstacle, I think that's the right word.
Okay.
Was having to get to know someone and their ex-wife and ex-girlfriend that they share children with is also in the household. So that was very distracting. And a lot of what the viewers did not see on the show was the experiences and the feelings and the emotions of the singles. We're people too. And I think that a lot of what was filmed was more pertaining to how the exes and the couples felt and what they were going through. And I felt a bit disregarded at times, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I can agree with that. While I do, appreciate the experience. I mean, I had a really good time and met some really good people. Just watching the first episode, it just really seemed like so much was cut. I really would have wished that, we would have been able to display more of our conversations. And I'm talking about you and our conversations are,
Absolutely.
It was just like super cut out, and I think it would have really added.
We did have some amazing conversations.
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of, like, those initial steps and getting to know someone. I think there's also, like, not to cut you off there, but a misconception that, like, the people that were already in the house knew more than the people coming in the house did. And I don't think that's a very, we knew things just because we had created it, because we had just been in the house, but we were filling it out too. Like, I didn't come into a situation where I knew everything. It was extremely secretive. I didn't know anything from the, I mean, I was just
like the secret that you did know was the fact that you were going on a show with an ex.
Yeah.
Nobody told me. I would not agree to go on a show with exes because I don't want nobody ex. I'm gonna let you know that, because I gotta figure out now why you don't want them. It's a reason why you don't want them. See, you don't want them. I don't want them.
Yeah.
Don't give them to me.
And and I think that when it came to my experience with you and Amina and Peter, I didn't know about the history because I had never watched the show that you guys were on previously. So I didn't know who you were, who he was, who she was.
We're back in the hotel Googling.
Well,
what the hell is happening?
Well, everyone was thinking that I was deliberately trying to start something with you, Tara, because I knew who you were in your history and I wanted to kind of jump on that bandwagon of keeping drama going. But all of that was very authentic and real and was my real feelings. And I had no idea like who anyone was. So that's something.
I was in the same boat. I was in the same exact boat. I hadn't watched any of the shows previously, so I didn't know the history. But I think the advantage to that was the fact that it was super authentic. I didn't know anyone on that show except for, being a hip hop head and knowing a little bit about, Peter's rap career, but other than that, I didn't know anybody. So, but I think that, like I said, it was a good thing because.
To add that.
Say it again.
So keep going.
No, I was saying that.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was basically saying that, I think that because it was authentic, we didn't know each other, that it was, it was super real. Back to something that you all was talking earlier, I probably would have never agreed to an elimination type setup. When it was pitched to me, it was more or less like I was told that it was mix and mingle, and I'm like, okay, I could do that. But everything was a surprise. So, you know.
Well, I do agree. Like, there could have been like some things that were held back, that were kind of held back to all of us in terms of like, I didn't know anything about elimination or that process. But I will say, like, coming into a situation like this where we're dating, it was pretty much like open, and I was okay with it. If it was something that was going to make me uncomfortable or something that I wasn't okay with, or any of us, we just wouldn't have done it. So, we were open and just trying to figure it out. We had been in the house and, with no TV, no phones. I mean, we all talk more than we normally talk ever, because we're in the middle of nowhere. And the only person I know are, my other castmates that I don't know that well, that I'm trying to get to know. And then it's, the person that I do know. So I think like, that's, that communication was really just about, they've stripped us of everything. So all we have is like, communication. And for me, it was really just about like making sure that I'm in my lane and my energy is good, so that whoever comes in this house, we're all talking, we're all speaking, we're all like having these conversations that need to be had. So, so for some of the people that were in the house, not knowing even some of the singles that were coming in the house, it could still be intimidating. Like, no matter, even though we were in the house, it's still intimidating to have like these hard conversations. So again, it wasn't like, we had it all figured out. It's like, we're winging it just like you're winging it. That's why I was like, we're all winging this and we're all trying to figure it out. So it's just really best to have like an open line of communication, because there's nothing distracting us here.
Yeah.
That like really kind of answers like a lot of like some of my other questions, which was like, what was the expectation? And, were you guys like nervous about it?
I wasn't nervous at all. So Jayla's been my day one since the beginning. Like, we were on the same plane together on the way to Kentucky. So I still am the optimistic one. I'm like, we're going to meet our husbands. Like, trust me, we're going to get something amazing out of this experience. Yeah. You have to believe that. And so I was super excited to get to the house and meet the singles. And we were also told that there was like a plethora of variety of different singles
guys,
for us to meet.
Sexy, they were so hot. Oh, they hyped our heads up. The 3 days.
So we definitely thought it was going to be a situation where there was a larger pool of options for us. Okay. And so I was.
But y'all had a pool that was just, within the singles,
Right.
There's no shade. There's no shade.
Well, the idea is just to talk about your experience, and like, I know there are probably some disappointments. It's like very real to the dating world that we're in. It's, you meet someone and it's really about finding that one person and like finding a needle in a haystack. So, it's just the idea, but you could still have come into the house with 100 men and say, hey, like, I'm really not interested in any of these men.
Yes. So the thing is, with the experience, it wasn't the typical experience of trying to get to know someone. You still were very distracted by the fact that the ex was in the house. So that's what made the experience really unique and a bit like anxiety inducing, if I will. But it was fun. There was great moments. I had a lot of laughs. I learned about myself. I developed an enormous amount of new patience. And, I'm glad to see how I am under pressure, with things. I kept my composure a lot, and it was hot, and I was frustrated, and I was aggravated, and a lot of emotions were happening that were not shown on the last 2 episodes. But I think we look great.
I mean, honestly, I think that's part of like reality TV is that there's so much that's not shown, and that's just not here. That's everywhere. Like anytime, and I'm only saying this just because I some experience, but there's a lot of things that just can't be shown, of all of the things that they film. Like you'll sit there and you'll shoot a 2-hour scene and they've narrowed it down to 1 minute. And it's like, wait a minute, like it's so important that they show this one thing that I said that they just, but even with all of that, when you look at the show and you see yourselves, and I know that all of you guys have your own platforms and you're doing amazing things. And Nika, you and I've had like extensive conversations. Jayla, we haven't connected, but I'm always watching you and figuring out what you're doing, because I feel like we are family. So it's like a responsibility to know what the other person is doing. Ron, we stay in touch because, I just feel like we were all there together. So it's only us who know that experience. Right. So I want to know, what was it like to see yourself for the first time last week on TV? What did that feel like?
It was exciting for me. I was like, I look amazing. And so that was my biggest concern. I just want to look good. I don't care what character they make me out to be. I don't care if I'm the villain. As long as I look pretty and my skin looks good and my teeth and hair look good, I feel great. And I would say I checked off all of those boxes. So I felt good about it.
Okay.
What about you?
Sheila?
I knew how they were going to spin my scenes. I am an editor. I've been on YouTube since I was 16. We're coming up on 12 years, 13 years at this point. So I know editing. So I knew from the 48 hours what the key pieces, the takeaways. So I walked into it knowing this is the narrative that they're going to try to spin. It's the hot storyline, but I honestly was the most heartbroken out of it because I feel like they sold me the worst dream to even be coming on the show. Honestly, truly, like I was told like it's a lineup of guys for me. Like they didn't tell the truth. Like it wasn't no lineup of guys for me. The show wasn't even about me.
Right.
So I was brought onto the show and it wasn't anything of what I thought it was gonna be. So I'm saying
like you thought like, this is like a cast, you're the star of the show and you get there, you're like, it's an ensemble. Like you didn't really have an idea. Okay. I
didn't have an idea, like I didn't try out for the show. I was brought on to the show. So it's kind of like, what the hell I got brought on for this? Right. But at the end of the day, I made a lot of great connections no matter what. But the love part of it, I thought I was gonna, in my dream, in my fantasy, as a woman, in my fantasy, gonna go on a dating show and meet the guy of my dreams.
Yeah.
And walk away with the ring, and we're gonna live happily ever after, and we're gonna, every fantasy, y'all know how to fantasy.
It was surreal. I was watching it, I'm like, I know that's me, but I'm me, and I'm sitting here watching me, but it's me. So it was kind of like a little strange. It kind of felt like a dream, but I enjoyed it. I especially loved this week's episode. I was very happy with it. So
very good. Veron?
I mean, overall, I enjoyed the experience. I kind of feel like, for me, it felt like almost like improv. Being thrown into something and you just got to play it the way that you would play it. You got to deal the cards that you were dealt. So that's basically what I did. It was, my second time being on television, and the main thing that I kind of wanted to execute was to, the assignment that I was given of trying to win someone over or find love, on top of kind of like, what Nika said, just make sure that I was up to par, make sure that I was in the condition, the physical condition, and the mental condition to be chosen. I was actually trying to get chosen, and that's just what it was. So that was my goal. I was trying to get chosen. I knew that I was at least being.
Veron, I told you, I'm like, you're gonna get picked.
So
I said that.
So
Nika said that we were all going to get picked. Nika was like, we're getting picked first night. This is what I look for.
And Nika called it. But I think that it's really important. And one thing that in this conversation that seems to be like, resonating is that we really have to be open in all these situations because we don't know. Now, you can walk into even a scripted situation and you don't know what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. So, and all of some of the things that we can be disappointed about, we can still say, hey, and this is what you both have said, is have, more exposure. And, for me, it's kind of no different than what women go through today. We put ourselves out where it takes, Nika, you said you swipe left. I've never necessarily gone on a dating app because I'm from the old school, because I'm like 75. And all of that, it is like to remain open because we just never know where that's going to lead us.
Yeah.
And like, if we're not in certain spaces, if we don't follow, if you guys had to do it all over again right now, would you choose to have done it over again?
Knowing the concept?
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing the concept.
Yeah, I would, and do it better for sure. I'd do it again.
I wouldn't have nobody to pick.
And I would have just been like, okay, yes, I'm here for it.
I don't want anybody that has been married before. I don't want anybody that has kids. I'm too young. I'm 27. So it just does not make sense at all. So I know for a fact when they said, oh, I have a person to find, that's for you. That none of them was for me. I know this for a fact. Nobody would do single, no kids person like that. So it wasn't, I didn't get brought on the show for me. I got brought on the show for whatever else reasons.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a different.
So if you guys, without not being on the show as an option, if you guys could come back on the show and like do this all over again, what would you do different? In the same scenario, you can't change the scenario. You can't say if, woulda, coulda, woulda. Like, it's really important that we deal with what has happened. If you could come back in the house, close your eyes. We're back in Kentucky. You're at that party. There's a yellow dress with a big booty that I saw. It was a red dress with them thick legs. You know, it was like them pretty teeth. You know, what would you do knowing what you know now, crossing back over to the other side of the pool?
I can't necessarily say it because I don't want to spoil it, but I definitely would have been more focused.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have been more focused on what I need to be focused on.
Yeah. So I will say when we first came into the house, it was no rules given. We just kind of said, they kind of shoot us and said, go ahead, go into the house. And we walk in there and we don't know what to expect. So the first night I said, lemon drop me, because ain't no way, who am I supposed to be talking to? It was like, it's exes here. I don't know if I'm supposed to the men, to the women. Who are these people? What am I supposed to say? So I feel like if it was more instruction and more rules, I would at least have known how to go into it. I didn't know how to go into it. So,
Veron?
I think I would have probably fussed at you a little bit, Tyra. I probably would have changed that. You know, I'm more of an organic, you know, person that I kind of let things happen. If it's a connection, it's a connection. You know, it's not something that I really, you know, I'm used to kind of like, you know, having to pull a coattail. But I think if I had to do it a little different, I would have been like, snap out of it. Hey, look, I'm right here. Come on, let's talk. Let's do this. Let's do that. I probably would have done that. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's just, I actually really brung my true personality and how I am when I do meet somebody, or if I am kind of set up with somebody. If I'm feeling the connection, I'm feeling it. If I'm not feeling the connection, then I kind of check out. You know what I mean? And so I would do that a little different, knowing what I know now. I would just be a little more aggressive, you know, than I was.
I mean, I think those are good things. Like it really is in this conversation really about taking accountability. And I think, you know, Jayla, in terms of rules, there were no rules. Like you have to keep in mind, like we were thrown there. There was no rules. And for me, it was really about being as nice as I can to anyone who came through the door. So they felt, you know, because we had been in the house for a few days, making sure that if somebody needed to know something, because remember that first night you guys came in, we stayed up talking till the sun came up.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we talked a lot. Right? I mean, it got intense. It got back lighthearted. We talked about, you know, current event. We talked for a long time. So, you know, you seemed very comfortable. I mean, because the next day you were like making a steak. I'm like, where did you find a steak from up in here? Like you brought the whole kitchen. I'm like, I was like, but I mean, I wasn't cooking because I was like, I cook for my kids, but I was like, oh, I commend all these people making this food. Like, I'm like, if I can get like a cut of a piece of steak, I'll take it.
But it kind of felt like you had to, it felt like you had to make, it felt like after a while you kind of had to make things happen. Because I think, to be honest with you, when we first came in the house, being the first, we call ourselves the first 48, you know.
First 48!
I love it! First 48!
With us being the first 48, I think that we were challenged with having to break ice. You know what I mean? And I think after a while, our arms got tired trying to break ice, and it's like, you know what? she went and made a steak. I was down there just making drinks. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm about to occupy my time in this pool and making drinks. You want a drink? You want this? Want a mimosa? You know, and that's how I, you know, kind of. So it just felt like you kind of had to make something happen because we didn't have any rules, and that first 48 was really not on our behalf. It was. I think it was
really badass. Like, you guys cannot say you guys were that nervous. Y'all were so badass, especially
We
you.
were.
I think it was.
We
I think we were
I was
comfortable.
thunder.
I think we were comfortable. I think it was
Yes.
the couples. I think
Okay.
it was actually the couples who were very nervous and a little standoffish. You know what I'm saying? I think we came in the house like, what up?
Well, I was nervous because I was excited. So it was that, you know, that nervous excitement of like, oh my God, like Dan could totally be here. And this could be like it. And then this ring finger is like, you know, occupied. But I think that the energy in the house was so different between the couples, exes, and the singles, was that we were coming there like, you know, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and we walked into this big air of a bunch of damn baggage. And so we were like, okay, like, whoa, they have a lot of issues, and these are real life issues, and we're walking into like
the energy you took on. That's not the energy that we were giving out. Before you guys even walked in that house, we were having a ball. Everyone was excited for the singles. Everyone was excited to meet the singles, to see what, so everyone was aware that the energy would change, but it was never to be in a negative way, because you have to keep in mind, even if you're there with your ex, you're still there to meet someone. So you can't have that much negativity.
I get that part. And I'm not saying that the energy was toward us. It was between you guys, and we felt it. Sometimes you guys were really angry at each other, or talking about old stuff, or still having, you know, unresolved issues with each other. And the conversations were being had between the couples, and we were just kind of like vibing.
I think that if those conversations were had, those conversations were produced. It wasn't the natural energy. Those that there, you know, at the end of the day, we're still doing a TV show, so there are conversations that were produced because we are there to date. And like for me, especially, to have certain conversations or old conversations here, it is because it is asked, and you understand it's part of what we're doing is to give some history that has to be talked about, and to say, well, why is this person even here dating? So those things were happening. But I mean, I think that if you've taken all that information, you can think in your head it was that, but in what was going on day to day, that was not the energy.
But I feel like that was truly the energy that we got. And on top of it being so hot in the house, everybody was mad. Y'all had extra, because y'all know a person in the house, so y'all had extra animosity towards of a person, even if it wasn't towards the singles. It's a difference between people who are in the house dating people who everybody didn't know each other, versus singles with exes, y'all beefing, and we just bystanders looking like, so we want to.
But it's weird. It's interesting because we weren't really beefing. We were all like kind of having. We all got up. We worked out together.
It wasn't necessarily you, but we did see other couples that would be like bickering about stuff that had nothing to do with the show.
I mean, let's even talk about Mike and Nicole. Like, do they like each other? Do they not like each other? Do they want to be back with each other? Do they not? Like, what am I supposed to do about that? I don't want to be in that.
Yeah. And
I felt
one morning, like one of the guys was just talking about his ex, and he was just like, oh my God, I hate when she acts like that. I've been talking to her like this since high school, and she went all of this. I'm like, high school? I'm like, okay, you're throwing it way back. I don't know what's going on. So there was a different level of familiarity that you guys had with each other that we didn't have, and sometimes it did like throw the dynamic off a bit. That's it. It wasn't anything bad.
Yeah.
See, I didn't notice any of the bickering between the couples or anything like that. I kind of just had tunnel vision. But what I got, the energy I got, was just separation. And I'm not saying that that's all the couple's fault. You know what I mean? It could have been just the dynamic of the show. But and it was something that I was I wasn't used to, because the show that I was on before, it was more family based. Even though you had separated people, you had people who were guests, and then you had people who were healers. We all were more or less like family instead of like kind of clicked off. And I think that the energy in the house kind of caused us to click up a little bit, where the singles kind of just stuck with the singles, and exes kind of just stuck with the exes. I felt a huge separation between the two. And I don't really think that was like, pushed out by the singles, so that's just what I felt.
I think sometimes when you come into a situation, you could be guarded and not realizing that, some of the energy you may be seeing, you could also kind of be projecting and not being as open, because it is strange and it is new. But I do want to go into this because it's getting late. So we got to get into some fun stuff. Okay. All right. Because it's not supposed to be drama.
Let's get some fun.
Like, we got to get to the fun stuff. We got to get focused. Okay. This is about your real dating lives. The first thing I want to talk about when it comes to your real dating lives. Okay. I don't want any specifics, so I'm not trying to call anybody out.
Okay.
Okay. As badass as you two are down there, you're very clear. You do the self-work. I talk about you as a man. I use you as an example just from our conversations. As a man, you have taken responsibility and you're saying, these are the things that I want to work on myself, right? What are your non-negotiables when dating?
So when you say non-negotiables, do you mean circumstances or characteristics of a person?
Both. What is the thing you're dating? You've met a man, not in this house. You don't know his ex. You don't know anything about his past. You're getting to know him. What is the non-negotiable? It could be,
if he's been to prison. It's a non-negotiable for me. I don't care what the reason was. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Okay. Jayla. She's like, oh, I could do it if he did 1 year. Why you gotta look like she looked like he did only one bid. I could do it.
I mean, what if you're an entrepreneur afterwards?
It's not for me.
Okay.
Oh, like I'm a little.
No. I don't.
I have a non-negotiable that I'm somewhat flexible on just because of how society is now, but I don't think that I should be, but I'm still half and half because maybe my person has this and I'm not going to not, but, and that is having kids. I do desire to have my own family and build my own unit without it being broken or half and half. I really do hope that I can have my own little family.
So far you guys had like both of my two non-negotiables in my 20s. Damn. Veron.
At my age, the age of 40, meeting someone close to my age, I would say in dating, and I can't even call it a non-negotiable. I just say something that I kind of look a little sideways and be like, whoa, it's a woman who's never experienced any kind of therapy. I feel like, we're born as Black men and women, we're born traumatized,
Yeah.
or and even if not, we experience, traumas. And I just love a person who, takes that serious. And at least, when I talk to someone and say, they have never been to therapy at all. Not saying that it's non-negotiable, but at the same time, it does make me like back up a little bit like, whoa, okay, let's think about this. Okay, is this person even willing to go? Is this person,
right? That's what I was going to say.
Face anything.
Being willing to go is important.
If this person faced, unpacked anything that's ever happened to them, in their personal lives, in their childhood, in their past dating, because, I've run into, in my dating, I've run into baggage that had absolutely nothing to do with me. And unfortunately, and I also take accountability, there's people who dated me in the past who ran into my abandonment issues and, my traumas and different things like that. So I just think that that's important. I can't say that it's non-negotiable, but it's something that we need to negotiate, if I'm gonna be chosen by you, if I'm gonna choose you, So.
I mean, that's really important because it's like 2022 where everybody's woke, right? I mean, everything's at our fingertips. We're very clear about what we want, and I think that when you're able to communicate and articulate, there should be less misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And we live in a time where whatever you're into, there is a group for you. So you should go to that group and you should grow in that group. You shouldn't, if there's a group who, you know, they like to marry and raise llamas, then they should be there. They shouldn't be over here with the ones who like to marry and raise tigers, you know, like,
Yeah.
so I think that's really important, even to articulate that, and, you know, to even be a man and own that, you know, I think that's really, really important. Now, I'm going to ask this question because I've come across it quite a bit lately, just in my general conversations, not even asking, you know, people saying, you know what, like, I've never dated, you know, I've been, you know, dating men all my life. And if for the first time I tried dating a woman, like, has that crossed any of your minds? And this has nothing to do with show stuff. This is like a genuine question. Have any of you ever thought about that?
I have not
Okay.
ever. Mm-mm.
I mean,
I'm open to possibilities of love from wherever.
Okay.
as far as I could remember, you know, it's back in kindergarten, I was trying to kiss females. That's just what it was. Seriously.
Look, let me tell y'all.
I've never.
In kindergarten, I was trying to get my soap opera kiss. I was kissing boys in kindergarten. I was
So,
trying to
Y'all were kissing in kindergarten? I didn't get my first kiss. I didn't get my first kiss until
Listen.
6th grade.
You late, Jayla, because look.
So I've never thought about that lifestyle of dating, you know, the same gender ever. It's never crossed my mind. But I was trying to nail that kiss in kindergarten. I nailed it in 1st grade, right in the closet. You know what I mean? So no, I'm definitely into women, and you know, my thing is Black women. It's just what it is.
Okay.
Wait. I just gotta say this.
Okay.
I feel like women are better at everything.
Mhm.
And although I feel like I'm attracted to men, I feel like it's just something about a woman as far as planning dates, leading the life, leading and doing. I feel like I do get that from a woman. That's why I have really good friendships where it's like we call, we text, we communicate in the way that we need. So I do feel like it is something about women that men lack.
Mm.
You know, well, we are really good learners, so.
Are you guys?
Like, are you?
Yeah. You know, hey, it may come, you know,
Look,
in some
I mean,
situations.
it's
You know,
a
I
genuine
was taught,
question, for real. Look,
I was taught women mature a little faster. You know, sometimes it takes us a little time to pick up on things. You know what I mean? But hey, if you know, listen, I could be some way in my 20s, my 30s. Hey, I get to Billy D status when I'm in my 40s. This is what it is, you know. But I get there.
Okay.
The thing is getting there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think that it's all about patience. I'm not giving up on women. You know what I mean? And I haven't met, you know, I haven't been there. I'm 40, no kids, you know, haven't been married, but I still have faith that, you know, she's out there and that's what it's gonna be.
Okay, so let's get to, I have three more questions, and then before we end our live, and let's get there. So
Okay.
the next thing is still in lieu of, you know, now it's gonna get a little heated. Who is your celebrity crush?
Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake, if you're out there,
Jake, where you at?
Jake.
I've never had a celebrity crush.
If you had to, J-Lo, play the game. If you had to pick somebody, if you just like had to.
I do have to now, and I don't like them.
Well, okay, just like, you know, your celebrity crush in high school then.
Didn't have.
Yes. No. Oh my God.
No, I really didn't. I was a YouTuber in high school. Celebrities were not on my radar.
So you don't think any actors are cute, like, or anything like that?
Mm.
Well, that's a bummer because I fantasize about celebrities all the time. It's always been so fun for me. So, like, yeah, it's fun.
Look, oh God, I'm gonna sound like a
Who's
big
yours?
celebrity crush hoe, but Prince, Brad Pitt, An Interview with the Vampire,
In Troy.
Idris Elba. I mean, I got a lot of.
You had a lot?
I got a lot. I got a lot of
Yeah.
celebrity crushes.
I have a lot too. I just went for my first one. Like, the first one.
You know, when I was growing
And when
up,
I was a kid, Jermaine Jackson and Tito, but that's we'll talk about that later. And when I was a little girl, like kindergarten, it was Rick James. So
No, you know what?
Veron,
You know what?
I'm about to go.
Rick James. Like I thought I was going to marry Rick James. You could not tell me from like I was like, make my hair like that. I want the braids. I want the whole look. Like, I was in love with Rick James.
I've never heard anyone say that.
And look, this one I'm traumatized and single now. So
so I think it changed for me as a kid, you know, just being a TV head. Of course, it was Rudy at first, and then from 227, I forget her name.
Rick James.
Yeah, those are my as kids. Oh, and Laura Charles from The Last Dragon. That was my girlfriend in, I say, grade school.
Okay, who is it now, Veron?
Okay. But then you know, you grow up and you look at celebrities a lot different than you when you were younger. Celebrities to me were almost kind of like heroes, and then
yes, this is not to over philosophize. It's like, is there somebody you want to bone?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Right, like,
there.
We're like, give us the answer.
When you get a little older, you know, you kind of notice these people are just regular people, and mine are a little different. So I would say now celebrity crushes would be, because before it was more off of physical. For me, it's a little different now. So Jasmine Sullivan could sing to me forever. Okay.
Come on, all right.
Okay. Also Jill Scott. You know, when I watch her perform, when I go to her concerts, I'm hypnotized.
The microphone.
You know, I love the way she talks. I love the way she handles the audience. I love the way she talks.
The microphone.
I love the way she talks to the men. And then last, I went and saw Sade. Sade had every man in the audience hypnotized. She stood in one spot, didn't move. She just sang, and she's just as beautiful as she was when, you know, I was a kid, seeing her ride that horse with that long ponytail, you know. So yeah, I would say those are my 3 celebrity crushes right now.
Okay, guys, before we finish this is a tough one, and I want you guys to be open, okay? And you guys all have to give an answer to all 3 of these things, okay?
Okay.
All right. In the house that you lived in after Happily Ever After, who would you fuck? Who would you marry? And who would you send home? Dayla, you better get to thinking of 3 people because you have to answer it.
Darius goes first. I mean, Veron goes first.
Nah, the lady's been going first.
Go first. Men. That's why I wanted to bring somebody else to go first.
Okay, so wait, what was
Damn.
it? It was who would you sleep with, marry, and send home?
Yes, fuck, marry, send home.
Okay, so I would definitely, obviously, sleep with Jeremy. So, I would marry Justin, and I would send Ugo home.
Got it. And this is of the whole cast, guys, of the whole cast that you know that has been in the house, like everybody. Like we're all
wait, I didn't know that.
We're all one cast.
Oh, I thought it was like
of the people that came into the house, even if they came in the house for a short time, it's all one cast. It takes everybody to make the show. So
okay. Well, my answer has changed.
Okay, so I just want to make that clear.
Okay. So I still would choose Jeremy to sleep with for sure, because we share the same zodiac. We're Aquarians, and we have like this thing. And I would marry Cornelius, and I would send home Ugo.
Okay.
The hot seat. Okay, so
This is a hypothetical, okay?
Okay.
You know, so we're just having some fun.
We're having fun. We gotta think about these answers.
What's your answer, Tara? What's your answer?
Oh, what's my answer? I would damn, let me think.
Look at y'all.
I would probably fuck Jeremy. I would marry Winthrop.
Would you? Okay.
And I would who would I send home? The person I would send home, he hasn't been introduced, but he had a French accent.
Okay. Okay. Veron.
Jayla, you're buying time, and we want answers. Veron, give it up.
Cool. Wow. Okay.
You done already thought about it. What's the answer?
No, I haven't. I was trying to.
Look at his face.
Shit.
Look, this is it's a tough question.
Okay. Hey, the people I was in the house with, I would send home. I would send home Nicole. I would. Who would I have who would I have sexual intercourse with? Shit.
Oh.
Nika, it'll go down.
Me? Okay.
Let me see. And who would I marry?
Yeah.
Who would I marry? I marry Jayla.
Aww.
All right. All right, come on, Jayla. I gotta.
I would fuck Veron, I would marry him, and I would send home Mike.
This got very spicy. This got very spicy.
As Mike just walked into the room.
Oh my God, guys, first of all, thank you guys so much. I know your time is valuable. I know you guys have many different platforms and you have many other places you can be tonight. And I really appreciate your time. We all came together and we made one show, After Happily Ever After. And I'm so happy that you guys were my castmates. And thank you.
We're happy.
Yes,
too.
I'm so happy for this experience, and just I think the bonds that we have created from this experience and this experiment, like, I don't think, I just think it makes a connection that's not like anything else. So I'm so thankful for it. And I wouldn't change anything. Although we have these things like, we would change this and we'd change this and we wouldn't do this. I'm like, it happened how it was supposed to happen. And I'm thankful for it.
And I'm really excited to be a part of this concept, even though it threw me for a loop initially. We definitely put a huge dent in this whole dating reality show, experience, like this concept. I mean, groundbreaking, truly, I keep on saying it over and over. We are in the process and we've already made history for being the first Black, cast with a dating reality TV show. So I know that we are now trendsetters and everyone else is going to be trying to do something very similar to what we've done. And I'm really happy that I've met all of you guys and we've created these phenomenal friendships. I love everyone and I'm so excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Mike said, what's up? Come say hi.
Come.
And tell Veron, I'm coming for him. I'm coming for you, Veron. I'm coming for you, bro.
What up, Mike?
I'm trying to tell you. I don't eat as many donuts now. I'm coming for you.
That's Mike, guys. Mike is also part of the cast of After Happily Ever After. Mike, you will be sitting with us at some point on the after show, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Veron, is there anything you want to say?
Just want to let you all know my handles is just my first name, Veron, VAIRRUN, VAIRRUN. That's my handles for everything: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram,
Yes.
All that.
all that.
Keep up with us.
Yes.
And Veron, is that you back there with your Easter suit on that picture back there?
You know what?
That's your Easter
So
suit?
something like that. My homeboy Jason E. Jones is an artist. He did that. Man, I think I was 31, so about 9 years ago.
I'm talking about the picture with you sitting on, what is that, your mom's lap?
Oh yeah.
All right,
That
guys,
is.
I gotta go.
Thank you,
All
Tara.
right.
Thank you,
Have a great
Tara.
night.
We will talk
Bye.
soon.